Hey again. This is going to be a tutorial on how to create events in Chronos. Again, we're going to be using the server version as creating events is exactly the same in both versions. The only difference is that on the client version you cannot edit global events, at least until I implement user levels. So hopefully at some point your users will be able to have a user level and they can edit global events and things like that. You know, you can set them as like an event editor or whatever. But that's not in yet. Only the admin right now can edit the global events. But anyway, let's look at the personal events list because that's what we'll be using. So to make an event in Chronos, it's pretty easy. You hit new and you get the basic event here. Okay, a trigger only has three things that you can use. A trigger is a very basic event, which is what we'll make first. It's a one-shot, one-off call-out that you need to say when someone's cast or something like that. You know, hey, your cast is up, or hey, joust out, or something like that. So you basically with every event, you give it a name. Now the name doesn't really mean anything. It's just what shows up in the list here. It's your personal reference to what it is. It's your guild's reference to what it is or what it does. So make it something that you guys will recognize and remember. The text to match / pass is the text that you that fires your event when it appears in the log. Okay. So if you set this to hello world, okay. When hello world appears in your log like that, it will fire this trigger. Okay. And triggering text to speech will say hello, my name is test. There we go. And all you do is create this event. So that's the text to speech. Okay, the text to speech is read out when this event is fired. You can actually put a file name of a WAV here if you want, a WAV file, and it will play that instead if you want. I am going to put a little file browser in here at some point. I just haven't got around to it yet, but you can stick a file name in there and it will work. So there you can see your events being created. You don't have to delete an event if you don't want it anymore. You can simply disable it if you like. Okay. And that's a basic event. That's it. So if hello world goes to a combat log, if you give me a second, I'll just open up my log file simulator. I'm pretty proud of that. Log file simulator. Give me a second. Okay, so here's my log file simulator right here. If I set this up with the simulated log, okay, there we go. It's set up with my simulated log here, and if I put this hello world in the log,
hello, my name is Test.
There you go. Hello, my name is Test. So there's the result of a trigger. That's all it does. Not much, basically. But they can be useful, especially with some of the advanced features you can use, which I'll go over later. Now, let's create a timer. Timers also need an event name. Okay. They also need text to match. Let's see. Okay. Let's change it. Okay. And that's it. That's all I need. You can create that. Now, when we fire this, as you can see, we've got a duration of 60 seconds here. Let's put this in the log file simulator. And in case you're wondering, this is actually the format of the EQ2 log file, but Chronos is not dependent on the format of log files. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter of the structure of the log file. It doesn't matter of the format. It will work with pretty much any log file. But let's shoot this in here. There we go. As you can see, we've got a timer that started 60 seconds. That's it. Okay. So obviously we need to put some kind of reference in here. We need to know what time is running. As you can see, it didn't have a name. That's the overlay display text. So we'll put it as my timer. And you can also give it an icon if you want. Now icons, you can add them yourself if you want. So you can distribute a custom icon pack to your guild or whatever if you want. But yep, that'll do. And let's trigger this again. There you go. Right, okay. Now we've got no text-to-speech. Let's put some text-to-speech in here. Okay. Let's trigger it again.
Timer triggered.
There we go. Right, and that's basically a timer. That's a simple timer. It's these are the things, the minimum that you'd probably want to make in a timer. Give it a name, so it shows up here. Give it some overlay display text, a duration, some text to match, some text to speech, and possibly an icon. Okay, and remember, you can also always turn off your icons, and things like that, in the overlay settings. Okay. So there's your timer settings. Now, there's some advanced features to timers. Let's see. Interruptions basically, well, they do what they sound. It interrupts your timer. So if you put my interrupt, okay. Now you can get it to do nothing and just simply read out some text to speech if you want. Okay. We're gonna put some text to speech in here anyway. My timer. Now let's put. Okay. But let's do it to clear the timer when it's interrupted. So an interrupt basically works like this. It's triggered.
Timer triggered.
Okay. And then when it gets interrupted,
Timer interrupted.
it was cleared. You can get it to reset the timer, and you can even get it to trigger a different event if you want. So you can get it to trigger, let's see. Okay. There's a bit of a bug there, I just fixed it, but yeah, you can make this trigger a different event, for example. We'll go over that later, but we'll keep it as clear timer for now. A few other options are the warning point, so at 10 seconds before it's finished. It's not 10 seconds in, it's 10 seconds before it's finished. At the warning point, so when the timer reaches 10, you can make it give you a warning, so okay, save that. Let's reduce the time of this slightly, 20 seconds. And use different event after. This is, it's hard to describe, it's best demonstrated. So I'm gonna make a quick timer here, really quick. Let's call it quick, that'll do. Quick, and that'll be fine. Give this a quick icon here, that'll do. You can make it on the second time, so it's when the timer triggers for a second time, or let's do a third time. We can make it trigger quick. Save. Okay, so let's demonstrate this timer now. We're gonna put the timer text in the log.
Timer triggered.
Right, so your timer was triggered. Okay. Now, let's do it 3
Warning.
times.
Timer about to finish.
So that was the warning.
Timer triggered.
This is the second time. And here we go, here's the third. Remember, set it to 3.
Timer triggered.
There we go. It used a different event. Okay. After the amount that you set it to. So you can make it switch out for different timers if you want after certain after so many triggers. This is useful for say mob fights that use like 3 consecutive AEs, or the third one is different, like it'll do a port or something instead, so you can count down to a port, make it shout out port with the text to speech on the third one, etc, etc. You can utilize that however you want. Timer share, it shares timers basically. So timer share basically allows you to share timers between different events. So let's make a quick event here. Okay, set the timer share to that. Okay, so we set the timer share on this ID for these 2 timers. Whenever these timers trigger,
Timer triggered.
they will override each other in the window. It's basically a position share,
Timer triggered.
as you can see. So it's good for abilities that have that come from multiple people, but you can only have one at a time, like they don't stack. So if you have buffs that come from say 4 different people in the raid, like if you've got 4 buff classes and they all each have a buff that you'd like to keep up consistently, and you'd like them to time it between each other, Um, then each time one of them casts it, it would overwrite the other person's, exactly as it does in the game, for example. So you can do that. So there's timers basically. There are some advanced options with timers. So one of the advanced features is an extract. An extract is it pulls some data from the log to use in your settings. So for example, my timer text in the log we can replace with this. Now this $sign is your extract. Keep in mind it needs a reference point before and after the extract. Okay, so you couldn't have this, for example, but if there was a full stop after this or a space or something like that, that would be fine. Okay, so what this can do is let's change the overlay display text to simply the extract. Okay, that's it. Here we go. Let's see what happens. I'm going to turn off the text to speech for this because it's annoying while we're trying to demonstrate anyway. So my timer. You ready? There we go. The extract was replaced there. So oops. There you go. So that's how an extract works. Extracts are good for when you need some specific information from a log called out. You can use it in your text to speech, you can use it in your overlay, you can put it wherever you want. Okay. You can even make it part of your interrupt if you want. If it specifically changes the interrupt, you could put that there. As an example. Okay. There's another kind of advanced pass feature that you can use, which is this arrow. This arrow will call out the user's name that triggered the event. Because Chronos is global timer software, you can all connect to the admin, okay? And let's say there's an ability that, I don't know, like a curse, that only goes on one person during a fight or something, but you need everyone to know about it, particularly your healers, for example, okay? You can make, say, a trigger like this, and let's call it curse. Text to match is you've been cast, and the text to speech is okay. What this will do is, let's say some other person in your raid triggers this. It will send a call out to everyone, alright, with their username. Okay, so their Chronos username, it's good if you make it the same as their main character name. That Chronos username will be called out. Alright, so for example,
Admin is cursed.
because my username is currently admin, it called out admin as cast. Okay,
Admin is cursed.
but it would apply for any users currently connected. So if some other guy off in your raid got cast, it would call that out saying, hey, that guy got cast, and that's pretty useful. You can use an extract if you want, but if it only shows up in their log, and, you know, extracts are transferred, by the way, as well. Extracts are sent out to everyone too. So if someone gets a specific extract, everyone will get that extract, which is the point of global timer software, basically. But yeah, this feature to call out the username of the person who got the effect or triggered the effect, and the extract character are pretty useful features, especially if you mess around with them. Okay, I like the icon. Right, so those are the timers in Chronos. I've went through all the timer options, the advanced timer options, and as you can see, it's pretty robust. You can do a lot with it. Just so you know, if you fill up different slots in the overlay, as certain timers finish, they will filter up. They will go upwards and shuffle up, so you don't get empty spaces and things like that. But yeah, and that's the timer system. Any suggestions to the timer system are welcome. I'm always looking for new features to put into that. These are pretty much the things that I thought I would need personally in raids. So these are the things that I put in. Thanks again, and next I'm going to move on to setting up your server and all the management options.